The lead up to Formula One's Las Vegas Grand Prix has been an absolute disaster. Thousands of locals and tourists have been complaining about intensive road work, road closures, traffic, and long commutes. Hotel prices on the Las Vegas Strip had dropped roughly 80% since the race was announced last year. And race tickets are also down more than 40%, as over 10,000 tickets remain unsold just days before the race. Furthermore, construction workers have been working 90-hour weeks leading up to the event to make sure everything gets done. This will also be one of the coldest Formula One races on record, as F1 officials have publicly admitted that they didn't even think about the temperature when planning the race. And US viewership isn't going to break any records either, as qualifying in the race start at 3 a.m. and 1 a.m. Eastern Time, respectively, meaning 50% of the country is going to be sleeping during the race. Add in the fact that the 3.8-mile, 17-turn racetrack has been criticized by people like Max Verstappen and George Russell, and many people are already claiming that the race won't be back in Vegas next year. But I don't think that's true, and it all comes down to one thing: money. When Liberty Media acquired Formula One for $4.4 billion in 2016, they saw a unique opportunity to grow the sport internationally. Take the NFL, for instance. The NFL has significantly less viewers than the English Premier League, but they still bring in about $20 billion in annual revenue, which is more than the world's top 5 soccer leagues, the Premier League, Bundesliga, Serie A, La Liga, and League One combined. This is because the United States is the world's most lucrative economy, and they monetize sports assets better than anyone. This context is important because Formula One had historically struggled with US expansion. They literally gave ESPN the US TV rights for free, but it also represented an immense opportunity for Liberty Media to increase its enterprise value. And that's exactly what they have done. Liberty Media loosened social media rules, allowing teams and drivers access to official race footage. They launched an over-the-top OTT streaming service called F1 TV, providing fans with a one-stop shop for all Formula One related content. They also turned race weekends into music festival style events with concerts, food, and more. And most importantly, they launched F1 Drive to Survive with Netflix, a series that virtually every other sports league globally is now trying to copy. The results of these moves from Liberty Media and Formula One can't be understated. Formula One now reaches over 1 billion spectators annually, and 77% of these fans are under the age of 35. Formula One is also the fastest growing major sports property across Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, Twitch, and Chinese social media platforms. They now have over 40 million followers just on their main accounts. We're not talking about the teams, the drivers, or anyone else. And here's the craziest stat yet. The average age of a Formula One fan has dropped from 36 years old in 2017 to 32 years old today. That's better than MLB, NFL, NHL, and NBA. And it proves Liberty Media's digital-first approach is working. But most importantly, this has had an outsized impact on Formula One's presence in the United States. Formula One now has 3 races in the United States: Miami, Austin, and Las Vegas. That's more races than any other country on the calendar. And these races continue to set records, like 440,000 people showing up to the USGP in Austin, Texas last year. But the inaugural Las Vegas Grand Prix offers Liberty Media a unique opportunity that these other races don't. You see, Formula One is traditionally an asset-light business. They don't own the teams, the cars, or even the racetracks. Instead, countries around the world pay Formula One between $20 million to $55 million annually to host races. These countries then serve as race promoters, doing everything from selling tickets and sponsorships to putting up the expensive hospitality packages. This has historically been a great business for Formula One. You limit your downside by simply collecting $50 million hosting fees and signing lucrative broadcasting agreements. But while it has been lucrative over the years, it also limits Formula One's financial upside. This is why, for the first time ever, Liberty Media and Formula One decided to serve as promoters for their own race in Las Vegas. And it's also why the Las Vegas GP won't be leaving the calendar anytime soon, no matter what anyone says, because Formula One won't let it leave the calendar. Think about it this way. Liberty Media has already invested over $500 million of its own money on this race. That includes buying a 39-acre piece of land for $240 million last year to build a permanent 4-story, 300,000 square foot paddock building. Furthermore, even with 10,000 tickets still unsold for the race, Liberty Media and Formula One are going to make an absolute killing on this event. The cheapest ticket on race day is still going for more than $1,000, which is more expensive than any of the other 20 races on the calendar this year. And several people have already told me that Miami's ownership group makes more money off ticket sales for the Miami Grand Prix, a 3-day event, than they do all of NFL season, which is like 8 to 9 home games per year. That's really just the tip of the iceberg too. There will be events, parties, and concerts all week long. Netflix is in town hosting its first ever live sporting event at the Wynn, and the most popular hotels have a 95% occupancy rate, meaning millions of dollars in revenue. Also, one other thing to keep in mind is that cities spend billions of dollars in taxpayer money to build new NFL stadiums based on the hope that they will eventually get awarded a Super Bowl. I mean, this is literally what happened in Las Vegas to get the Raiders to come there. But this year's Las Vegas Grand Prix is projected to bring in a $1.7 billion economic impact to the city of Las Vegas, which is roughly 2 to 3 times more than what the city is expecting building for this year's Super Bowl. That economic impact is also why the Clark County Commission, aka Las Vegas, has already agreed to extend Formula One's use of the Las Vegas Strip through 2032. So don't expect Formula One to be leaving Las Vegas anytime soon. Their new 300,000 square foot permanent paddock will serve as the company's home base in the United States. It will be open to tourists throughout the remaining months of the year. And for all its faults leading up to the event, the Las Vegas Grand Prix should look amazing on TV. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'll be posting 2 to 3 videos each week breaking down the most interesting topics in sports business.